Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Royce Aguilar, an equity research associate of First Metro Securities. So I will tell you what happened in October. So it was a very volatile month. I would like to tell you all about it. So what dragged, what supported the market. So let's go. So here we are. Monthly Philippine stock market recap. So same sequence as before. So first we'll discuss what happened in the month of October, and then what to watch out for in November, and then our stock picks, and then we'll go with your questions afterwards. So what happened in October? So let's have a recap. So for the month of October, we ended by above 2.6%. We ended by being up by 2.6% in the month. So fun fact, we were down by as much as 3% in the first week of October alone. But we recovered, and then we even reached 8,000 yesterday, and then today we ended at 7,977.12. So year to date, that brings the performance of the PSEI in by above 6%, so specifically 6.9, and we're up by 500 points. So let's first talk about what dragged the market, specifically early this month. So here, so there was at the first week, there was a 10-year low in US manufacturing PMI. So what happened was the PMI number of US went below 50. So that means that the manufacturing sector contracted. It did not improve. And that resulted to investors thinking that there would be a recession and the like. So that resulted to a sell down in the global markets, and we were affected by it. And then another thing is there was a weak data in China. So early this month, there was a bad manufacturing number by China, and then GDP as well. So actually, just today, the manufacturing number of also of China is shows contraction, meaning the manufacturing sector is not improving. So there. But what supported the market? So what spurred the rally that made us reach above 8,000? So there's still easing trade tensions between US and China. So to be specific, it looks like we're going to have a first or a phase one trade deal. So that's still um, unexpected in terms of schedule, but it looks like we're going there. There's also some positive developments in Brexit for most of this month. There was reported that there was a deal made by the EU and UK. However, that was not approved by um, the UK lawmakers. And then just recently, we saw the earnings report of key banks. We saw the earnings report of BPI, and then it rallied. Metro Bank, it rallied, and BDO as well. So that resulted to the market rallying for the past 2 weeks. There's also lower than expected inflation. The actual number was only at 0.9% compared to expectations of 1%, mostly because of high base from last year. And then there's monetary policy easing in US. It, the Fed cut rates, and in the Philippines, um, we really saw the RR cut, so that helped the market. So I would like to show the recap of our chart that we showed last month. So you will see here that we showed you the technical analysis of the PSCI, and we told you that it would hit around 7,624. It did hit that. It even reached 7.5. But at the end of the day, we know that it's good to have a basic technical analysis to show you where the market or your specific stocks are going. So how about this month? So you will see that our support of 7.7 or resistance of 8,000 is still solid. So what do we recommend based on technical analysis? So for those more conservative, we would like you guys to accumulate once the PSCI breaks above 8,000 and actually sustains it. But one key characteristic is the 8,000 level should be welcomed with strong volume, and we did not see that yesterday. The volume was only at 5 billion. That's why we corrected today. So should the PSCI fail to trade above 8,000 soon, we would like we would likely correct back to 7.8 or 7.7. So what do we watch out for in November? So again, we would like you to always watch out for trade developments between US and China. So the phase one trade deal is something we should watch out for in November. Should it happen? Should it not happen? The market will definitely react to it. And then we have the inflation number by next week. Bloomberg estimates it at 0.8%. BSP estimates it at 0.5 to 1.3%. So something to be excited about should the inflation hit below 1%. But again, it's because of high base. And then the BSP Monetary Board is set to meet on November 14, so something that you should watch out for as well. Corporate earnings of US. So for days that we don't have any catalyst in the Philippine market, any reaction in the US is something to watch out for. And for the next couple of weeks, US earnings is set to dominate the headlines in the US. And then also, we have earnings as well here in the Philippines. The most number of releases in the index will come from next week. Lots of earnings releases next week, especially conglomerates. So something we should watch out for if we are holding those kinds of companies. You would see in our daily report earlier, or the calendar, you would see there the earnings releases of companies next week. Again, we should always watch out for the PMI numbers. So there. And then developments in Brexit, should there be any. But the development right now is that it looks like the decision or the UK will be given until January 2020 to make a deal or to submit a deal to the lawmakers. And should they approve it, they will have a deal and they will get out of EU. So our stock picks. So Robinson's Land is still our top property pick. Something we should be excited about in the earnings release. I believe it's going to be around next week as well. Besides the domestic catalysts, such as recovering residential sales, successful mall renovations, growth in office space, its international venture China is set to contribute to the company in the third quarter. So as we speak, it's already contributing, and we expect that to be reflected in the earnings next week. So our target price is at 30 pesos. So you have a good upside of around 18%. So Megawide. So Megawide has been our stock pick for so long, but um, in terms of update, I think I failed to edit this slide. The target price for Megawide, our current target price for Megawide is now only 23 pesos. We took into consideration the earnings from this year, but given that, it's still a buy for us, given the upside and given that Megawide is trading at a cheap regional average of only 12 times PE compared to its peers of 20. So our target price for Megawide is at 23, just to be clear. But at the end of the day, it's still a buy because it's cheap and earnings are significant, will significantly improve by 2020. So in terms of another stock pick that we have, we like Pure Gold. It's our top consumer play. We have to take into consideration in terms of earnings recovery that the target market of Pure Gold are from low to mid income households. So um, the key there is there is lower inflation, there is a low price of rice. So that benefits the target market of Pure Gold. So we expect earnings to improve from here on. And fun fact that SNR is owned by Pure Gold. And the aggressive expansion um, of SNR will benefit them moving forward. So there. And in terms of our bank pick, we like PNB. Um, we know that it successfully raised 12 billion last July. And let's just stick to the basic that let's say that stock rights offering is a second IPO, meaning PNB raised funds. So where will they use the funds? They plan to ramp up the retail and mid-market loan book. And another fun fact is the banks earn more from the retail and mid-market compared to corporate. So that benefits several banks, especially those that have heavy exposure in retail. So we know that the likes of BDO and the like are number one here because they have huge exposure in the retail sector. So BDO is not our pick because we think it's expensive as of the moment. But you see the point there that the expansion in the retail and mid-market benefits banks. So we have a research partner in Singapore. They cover Metro Bank for us, and they have a buy call. So the 83 pesos target price already takes into consideration the stock dividends. So our target price before for Metro Bank, even before the stock dividends, is 83. But given the recalculation of the earnings that just came out, we upgraded the target price of Metro Bank. So after the stock dividend, it's still at 83. So there. So we continue to like Bank. It's still cheap despite its recent rally. It's still the cheapest compared to BDO and BPI. So there. So for Cebu Pacific, we remain positive on Cebu Pacific. It's the outperformer among Gokongwei stocks. Gokongwei stocks are recovering this year from a dismal year last 2018. Cebu Pacific, despite the news on the delays and the like, the numbers speak for itself. Its earnings um, nearly doubled in the first half of the year, and we expect that to continue. So the target price of DBS is at 122. So there. So if you, for those who would like to trade, or for those investors that would like to earn, or investors that would like to have a short-term profits, you can have you can see our reports in Traders Playbook. So what's nice about Traders Playbook is it provides you with the entry exit point and a cut loss point. So fundamentals and technicals all in one report, the Traders Playbook. So there. So thank you. So I would like to welcome any questions that you would have. So first question is a market collapse likely to happen in early 2020 as many predict? Well, in terms of market collapse, it all depends to the market data. So I will tell you what the data says. So first in the US is still strong. The countries that are showing weakness are Europe, China, Hong Kong, and even Singapore. So the question is, will there be a recession, like a global recession? That will depend if there will be for example, before there was a housing crisis and only few saw that. And what the data says right now is we would likely see um, weakening economy from those countries next year, but we don't see a market collapse unless, for example, the escalation of trade war, unless some country shows significant debt that is exposed to the global. So there. So something that again, no, that's our role. We will tell you what data we see, and as of the moment, a market collapse is unlikely to happen unless a trade war escalates, or unless some country suddenly has a big debt na hindi natin alam before. So there. So the consensus evaluations for PCOR and DMC are added by. So I would like to clarify. Your question is your consensus evaluation. I would like to clear that the consensus evaluation comes from all the stock brokerages that cover. So you will see, for example, in our reports, what stocks are we positive on? What stocks are we not positive on? So to answer your question, DMC, PCOR are they still good to buy? For DMC, we would like to see earnings improve. Same with Tatron. So there. What are our thoughts on below average trading volume? So we are also frustrated with the below average trading volume, but this is because of uncertainty. If there's uncertainty in the market, there's no conviction in trades. And that's because of we know that there might be a phase one trade deal or not, but that's the thing. We don't know for sure. And uncertainty kills volume. So that's the reason for the below average trading volume. So is yours is still a good buy? Um, we would like to see, probably we should see earnings improve further next year. There are signs that the stock is improving, but we would like to see more. We would like to see domestic further improve, coffee sales, market share further improve before we say that URC is a good long-term play. So our stock picks, I would like to repeat. So we have Cebu Pacific, for we have Metrobank, we have PNB, we have Pure Gold, we have Megawide and Robinson's Land. I think the team would post this video against you. If you'd like to hear the reasons, just wait for that. We would gladly the video will gladly explain to you why. So what undervalued stocks are out there that can make money in the near future? So that's actually a good question. So in terms of undervalued stocks, I would like to reiterate like Megawide specifically Megawide, Metrobank are stocks that are undervalued and we think you could make money of that within the next 12 months. So there. So the next question, will Axulum recover back to its IPO price? That's the thing. We wait for earnings. Earnings expected to come out, I believe, obviously within the next 2 weeks. So something we should wait for. If earnings are good, we think it will recover back to its IPO price. But if earnings disappoint, it will take longer. So next question, why Double Dragon isn't recommended for a good buy? Despite good earnings from Double Dragon, it's still affected by its huge rally. Recall before that Double Dragon rallied to as high as 81. So what's the problem now? That despite good earnings, Double Dragon is still expensive. So it's still expensive compared to its peers. So that's the problem, that even if they have good earnings, they are relatively expensive compared to peers. So what the stock is doing now is finding what price yung hindi na siya mahal. Kasi right now, mahal pa siya. So there. So if you have further questions, kindly email the company. We would like to see you again in November, and we will tell you what to watch out for for the last month of the year. But as of the moment, take care for the next 2 months and enjoy the long weekend. So thank you